Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast about three guys with nothing to lose and a whole bunch of guns and money in a bank they need to get. Something like that.
That sounds like an awesome story.
One man is afraid of outside. What's that?
John's got to. He keeps telling us he's got to memorize. So if he wants to go for it, that's impressive.
Sweet.
Let me do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast where we discuss weird news, pop culture, and being middle-aged dads. I'm your host, John, and these are my co-hosts, Jason.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And live from North Carolina, Zach.
I'm wearing panties.
It's true. I can see it.
We are bitter, cynical Gen Xers saddled with crippling debt and depressingly past our primes. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun. That and the panties.
Well, actually, what he did is he took old panties and made them into a COVID mask.
He didn't
I didn't even wash them.
Yeah, I was going to say, but the fact is, they weren't any girls' panties. They were just his that he had worn.
Speedos. Speedos can be adapted to be a COVID mask quite easily.
No, these were pink. These were like frilly.
Just go to DI, buy all the used underwear.
I don't think they
COVID
have
masks.
used underwear at DI, do they?
I don't know.
And
This
for
is
anyone
just
listening-
this is just my life, so I'm not really. I have nothing to say about this.
For those who live outside of Utah, DI is just basically Utah Goodwill. So, but
Yeah,
What are you-
Klaus.
what are you eating, man? I
Well-
want to see your dinner.
So I'm in North Carolina. I'm staying at my ex-wife's house. She made me dinner. I'm eating it as I talk. She brought it up to me because I'm doing this. What did I do right?
Well, moving on.
The answer is nothing. You did nothing right, Zach.
This is delicious. All right. Let's get to it, huh?
Yeah,
What-
absolutely.
What have you guys been up to?
Well, not flying to North Carolina. That's for damn sure.
I'll tell you, it was only a 4-hour flight, but I am tired. It wiped me out.
Well, you got to flap your arms for 4 hours, you know.
Oh.
Shake your head slowly.
Dad joke.
I think it's because it's so awful that's what makes it funny.
Yeah, probably. So what was the flight? I haven't flown since pre-COVID time. So tell me, what's it like flying during a pandemic?
You know, it's not bad. Everybody's wearing their mask in the airport. Everybody's wearing their mask on the flight. I did see the stewards and stewardesses, the flight attendants reminding people to put their mask over their nose, like over and over, and wear your seatbelt. It was, them herding cats or herding toddlers. But I got this really cool, I was telling Jason, I got this really cool mask imprint on my beard. So now there's just this line that won't brush out.
Nice.
And it's really cool. It makes me look, well, stupid. So, but anyway, and the flight attendants all pass out sanitary wipes and things like that for, your protection or whatever. And
Did you ask for a condom?
I should have, because imagine what they'd be thinking as I ask for it very seriously.
Well, they say they want you to be protected. That protects you and other people, just like a mask
Right.
does. Right?
I mean, chances are I'm going to have my wiener out on the flight. I might as well
it
be
may as well be
protected.
protected.
I think
We
it's
can't
more-
help-
You could even say you're not nude, you're wearing a condom.
That's true. And if it's one of those really cool glow in the dark, see in the dark ones, you can like shut all the windows and everybody can see it. Looks like a little lightsaber, like a little daggered lightsaber.
When the lights go low in the cabin, you're like glowing, you know.
I see yours leans to the left.
That man is sword fighting with the person in the row next to him.
So yeah, that's how my flight was. And my son did really well. The whole goal was to get him here. He is staying here. He's not coming back with me, but I'm out here tomorrow. I'll be driving around looking at places to live, looking at the hood, because that's what I can afford is the hood. So what I need to do is find out which area prefers which drug, and then just be the dealer for that area.
It's market research.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be a contributing member of society. I'll pay my taxes. Like, I'll pay the taxes. Just let me sell the drugs. It's fine.
Do you know they will convict you if they catch you dealing drugs, but you haven't filed taxes on your income from said drugs?
Wait a minute. If I sell drugs
and then you don't pay taxes on the income,
they will get me for that?
They'll do that. They'll add it to your charges.
That's hilarious. So what I should do is definitely pay taxes on it.
Well,
then won't they get you for that, though?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But I'd love to put on my W-2 or whatever your self-employment, whatever that
1099 or whatever.
Yeah, 1099 right in there, like meth sales,
$5,700
a month. Yeah.
Or prostitution, just
yeah, I mean, let's keep it real. That's what I'm doing.
You could itemize. So I'm just kidding.
This fishnet top that I'm wearing did cost me $50. It was for work.
It's the tax deductible. Do you think like strippers can deduct stuff like that on their taxes? Like,
absolutely, they can. Yep,
they have to, right?
I got pasties for $29, at Blue Boutique.
But that's a legal job; they'd have to file taxes for. So I would assume they would have to have deductions and itemization.
If they were smart, they would do that.
But could they like deduct a Brazilian?
Or like implants?
Yeah, I mean,
it's work related, right?
That's true. I wouldn't be surprised.
The savvy stripper is going to be our next podcast. How to save on your taxes.
I can find a stripper for us to interview. That'd be fun.
That would actually be pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. And ask them questions like that. So do you itemize? And they would. So it actually wouldn't be funny. They'd actually tell us how to do it.
It would be kind of funny though. So.
Oh yeah.
Do you know any strippers?
No, but I know somebody who does.
Oh, really?
And I can probably get an interviewee. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't. There's nothing wrong with it as long as we're like, it's not like we're going to ask for a demonstration or anything.
Oh, right. No, goodness, no.
Jason wants pointers because he's thinking of switching careers.
I am tired of my job, and I want.
You got your master's, and you're just done.
I'm done. I'm ready to follow my true calling and show off my body.
Which club? Which club has a night for like overweight middle-aged man? Like a full Monty night.
None.
This sounds like something we need to open up ourselves.
It's
this
like
is
Magic
Avenue.
It's like Magic Mike, but 15 years older and 100 pounds heavier.
This is hot. There's a market. I'll tell you what. Seriously, if we really did that, I'm telling you, people would show up because it would be hilarious.
Yeah, for one night, and then we'd be like out.
You wouldn't have return customers, though. That's for damn sure.
It'd be like a circus thing, the cycle. And awesome. Please welcome to the stage, El Guapo. Is that my stripper name? I'll come out, in a luchador mask and nothing else. And they'll be like, you can't really see anything good because his belly's so fat.
You know what El Guapo means, don't you?
El Guapo Grande.
I saw it when he spun really fast.
I think
it was a shadow.
Is he wearing a Speedo? I can't tell. The shadows. Oh, I'm sure I just painted a beautiful picture for anyone who's listening.
I mean,
listenership drops like a stone now on the graph,
it's been going down.
Walking out.
What's that?
You can just hear everyone just say done, flipping it off.
Yeah.
Or they're vomiting. I think they're probably more vomiting.
I love that one of our most consistent listeners is one of our best friends' sister.
Oh, Jamie?
Jamie. Yeah. Hi, Jamie. I know you're listening.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
So we should probably have her on sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah. She'd enjoy that.
Anyway, Well, so you're in North Carolina,
Correct.
and I have not really been doing anything. We went to Lowe's tonight and bought our carpet that should be installed by Thanksgiving, which is awesome because we have no carpet, and haven't for over a year. So yeah, that will be really great, and we're super excited. I was kind of pissed at the lady, and Megan, my wife, kept looking at me, asking me if I was okay because they've been awful. Like, we worked with Lowe's in the past; they've been really great, but this has been a nightmare. Just trying to get them to answer their stupid phone and get back
Oh,
to
really?
us. Yeah, it's been really weird. So anyway, finally we pinned them down, not literally.
You can just tackle them.
Yeah, where's my carpet? So yeah, that's what we've been doing, and watching Stranger Things season 3, which I haven't seen until now. So
Oh, okay. I was all excited that number 4 was out and I missed it somehow. But okay,
oh
3.
no, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too. It's like, oh, there's another season of it. It's like, wait, no, 3 came out like a year ago.
yeah. So we're trying to. Megan had never seen it, and since it's Halloween month, we're trying to watch something spooky, and it's been fun, and yeah,
I saw that new Halloween Kills.
how was it?
Awful.
That
And
has
what
Jamie Lee Curtis in it, right?
I know, and I
She's like
loved
your
her. I have a
girlfriend.
right. Yeah, I will never not love that woman, but I from what I understood, the last one that they made before Halloween Kills, they were making that one and then going right into the next one, Halloween Kills, and making that. What I don't understand is the departure from the last one that had come out that was so good. It was like really one of my favorite movies. I for horror films and horror fans, I loved that movie. And then this crap came out and it was just poorly written and poorly directed. Even Jamie Lee Curtis didn't do a good job, which to
She's
me
just like
means it must
phoning
be a
it in.
bad director. Yeah, it was just she spent most of her time sitting in a hospital bed. There was like zero anything going on with her. So I put my pants back on and just ate a bowl
Pretty
of cereal
disappointed.
and
Yeah.
went to sleep sad. But yeah, that I'm in the same boat as you, whereas I was watching something scary, but I was just hugely disappointed in it. The new Scream looks pretty good though.
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer for that.
No, I haven't either.
Check it out.
You know what doesn't look good though is my mom was. I was talking to her the other night. She's like, "Hey, have you seen the trailer for this new movie called Old?" And I'm like, "Old."
Oh, the M. Night Shyamalan one?
Yep. And as soon
Uh-oh.
as I realized who it was by, I'm like, and I'm prejudiced.
You're like, nope.
I hate that guy. He
Just
made
nope
like
your
2
way
good
out of it.
movies, and that was it. Maybe 3, arguably. And it looks like the same crap he always does.
Right.
Something
So
scary is happening. We can't explain it. Scary.
There's going to be a
people are
twist at
getting
the
old
end.
before their time.
It's called stress, man.
Yeah, he's just doing a
It's
movie
nothing
about
supernatural. It's just they look at their bills and they're like, "Oh, inflation. Oh, bills." Then
Look at
wrinkles
gas
just form on their
prices.
face.
I didn't get a raise last year and everything else is going up in price, of course.
Yeah.
Gentrification.
It's just a social commentary. And then he's marketing it as like a horror movie because he does that.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to strangle him. But anyway,
I would just love to get him on the podcast as a surprise. I know I keep threatening that for all these people that you hate, but
I'd love
I
to get
swear
him.
I'll be able to get one of them eventually.
I'd love to get him in a room, just me and him with no windows.
Gross.
Well, I don't know what would happen. It would start with beatings, but
It would end with a twist.
it would end with a twist.
A titty twist.
This is for Lady in the Water, you son of a bitch.
Purple Nurple.
Actually, I never saw Lady in the Water. What I am pissed about, though, is what he did to The Last Airbender. So
Oh, yeah.
I would pull out all his pubes with a tweezer just for that one. Because that's how I felt watching the movie.
You were doing it to yourself the whole time you were watching it to distract you away from the movie.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the highbrow content you can expect from the dysfunctional adults.
Well,
I mean, if you want more, there are other podcasts.
are there? We're one of the few, right? We came up with this podcast idea, and
Yeah, we didn't jump into this when everybody and their dog had a podcast.
Yeah, but ours is funny, so
That's true. I feel like if the right person hears this, we're marketable. And yes, I'm saying that and patting myself on the back and patting you guys on the back.
It's gonna be M. Night Shyamalan. He's like, I love this until he gets to this episode. And he's like, I'm going to destroy you.
I was going to give you guys $5 million, but
no.
Then Jason was a jerk.
He's like, but if you'll kick Jason off the podcast and let me on.
I would say, Zach, what are you going to do with your $2.5 million?
But then the twist turns out Jason was M. Night Shyamalan all along.
And I'm a ghost.
Yes. And you're growing old.
I'm an alien ghost.
Nice.
Yep. And you're afraid of water.
And mermaid. So, yeah. So I don't know how we got on that, but John, what have you been up to?
Yes, please save the podcast, John.
No, I just took my kids to the dinosaur park this past weekend. You know, the Eccles Dinosaur Park up at the mouth of Ogden Canyon.
The island off of like South America.
Jurassic Park? What's going on right now?
Yeah. You need to access it via helicopter.
Yeah. That's cool, though. I didn't know that was up there.
Yeah, it's been there for, 15 years, something like that.
Well, somebody needs to do better advertising.
They have that dinosaur park out in Vernal.
I remember that.
I remember my parents taking me to that one as a kid, but, Vernal's hours away, and that's a small, crappy park with dilapidated dinosaurs, and this one, they actually put money in to repaint them and make them look really cool. And they have like 3 times as many dinosaurs. They probably have 50 of them or so. So,
oh, wow. That's cool.
We take the kids every October when they decorate it all for Halloween. You can get some cool pictures of the kids with the dinosaurs. And, once again, I have to resist the urge to give them a history lesson about dinosaurs. Saying how dinosaurs were used in like World War II and
right.
How the pioneers would have never made it to Utah without the help of, dinosaurs to ride on, and
brontosaurus pulling their covered wagons.
Well, all the dinosaurs used in wars as tanks with machine guns strapped to them. And
I would watch that movie. In fact, they had a cartoon once.
Do you remember that dinosaur cartoon when we were kids, the Dino Saucers one?
Yeah.
That one. I loved that when I was little.
I can almost remember the song.
Dino Saucers.
Yeah.
That's probably part Airwolf too. I don't know why that combined.
Just gonna mix them all together. But speaking of dinosaur parks, did you guys hear about that news story from earlier this year about that one in Spain that like a father and a son found a corpse inside one of the dinosaur statues?
Wow.
It eats people.
It was a stegosaurus, though. It's supposed to be an herbivore.
This changes everything that we know.
Scientists don't know as much as they thought they did.
Or it's a homicide.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that probably could have been one of our show and tell stories, but it was sometime this spring, like there's a dinosaur park in Spain, and the father and the son noticed like an odd smell coming from the stegosaurus. So they looked in like a crack that was in its leg and saw like a corpse inside of it. So they called the authorities, and the police had to rip it apart to get to it. But they actually did not suspect foul play. They thought the guy had like dropped his phone in the crack in the leg and had squeezed in head first to get his phone and became stuck in there for several days before dying. So now,
but he can still claim he was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He can still claim he was eaten by the dinosaur.
But now, like, traumatized.
This is the first time I've been to the dinosaur park since I read that story. But now I look at all the dinosaur statues and think, like, oh man, how many corpses are inside that thing?
For real.
if one could fit inside the Stegosaurus, that big Brachiosaurus they had could have like hundreds of corpses in it.
You did say it was in Ogden, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably does.
Ogden is a little suspect.
Oh,
Or as the kids are saying these days, it's sus.
It's sus, yeah. All the corpses that are missing that are not dragged out of the Ogden, the Weber River, are probably inside the dinosaurs at the Eccles Dinosaur Park.
We have a lot of like death places here in Utah, like the Jordan River. There's always bodies in the Jordan River.
It's like a routine thing to pull a body out.
Yeah.
Strawberry Reservoir. One news story from years back that shouldn't have been funny, but was. I remember a story like there was some missing boaters that had disappeared on Strawberry Reservoir. And so they sent in divers to like drag the lake looking for their bodies. And like every day for like 3 days in a row, it's like, well, they found the body in Strawberry Reservoir, but it's not the one they were looking for. So we'll keep looking. 3 days in a row, they found like other bodies. And then they finally found the ones they were looking for. And so they called off the dive. But it makes you wonder if they had kept going, how many bodies are in there?
I kind of feel like it's their duty to, hey, well, I mean, we keep finding bodies. Let's keep looking.
I guess they saw it as mission accomplished, but it was one of those stories that shouldn't have been funny, but every time I heard another body was found in Strawberry, but not the ones we're looking for, so we're still looking.
See,
this
is why people... Well, excuse me, this is why ghosts are pissed off, because they have unfinished business. Their body's still at the bottom of these reservoirs. Nobody's taking them out, laying them to rest. This is our own fault.
This story was probably like 10 or 12 years ago. It was a while ago, but...
And he's been haunting the Strawberry Reservoir ever since.
He's like, guys, I'm down here. I'm in the Stegosaurus. Ah, damn it. Nobody comes to Ogden. And then the ghost like gets robbed because it's Ogden. He loses his ghost wallet.
Aww.
Like, stick him up, mother effer, you know.
Some crackhead ghost like knocks him over the head, steals it. Yeah.
Anyway.
So that was my weekend.
See, that's John. He's always going out and doing stuff.
Well, better him than me.
Enriching his children with experiences and memories.
Yeah, ew.
While thinking that those dinosaurs were probably stuffed with corpses to the point.
They'll learn the truth soon enough.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Should we take a break?
I think we should take a break. Let's cut to commercial. We will be right back, said my dad, and he never did come back.
Aw. And you're still out of milk.
Welcome back to Dysfunctional Adults. We're here with Zach, who's live from North Carolina.
Wouldn't it be weird if I wasn't live?
This is like a recording, but you anticipated everything we were going to say.
That'd be fantastic.
Pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, I mean, what a cool gift to have that does nothing.
It's very specific psychic powers.
That's how I feel like my powers would be. Like, that'd be my luck. Like, okay, you're going to be blessed with this gift.
Usable only
but it's going to be completely useless for anything, really.
It's like a coupon. It has like all these conditions and restrictions and an expiration date.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well not give this gift to me. I can't really use it.
Well, it's like talents also. It's like the only thing I'm good at is carving pumpkins. To tie it into the Halloween thing, because it's almost Halloween, every year my kids have me carve them pumpkins, and people tell me we should post them on the Facebook page. I'm actually really good at it. They're pretty amazing, actually. If only I had a talent that was actually useful
and
marketable, could get me a decent job.
I still think you should put it on your resume.
No, I can carve pumpkins with the best of them. So, yay me!
Yeah. Expert pumpkin artist.
If you ever do switch careers, I agree with Jason. You should put that on your resume regardless, with pictures.
Let's put some pictures on the Facebook page, though, so people can see.
For real.
I'll have to find some. I don't have them on my current phone. I transferred them to some flash drive somewhere, so I'll have to look them up. But
I always do the same face every year. I didn't get to do one this year. We kind of ran out of time before we were coming here. Charlie got to carve his, but mine, I usually get like the biggest pumpkin I can find and put the tiniest little face on it. Yeah, it's just a little, like a mouth and two tiny eyes, and then I put that candle in there, and it's beautiful.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, I do the same face every year. So just like the square or the triangle eyes, the triangle nose.
Oh, you do a self-portrait. Okay.
I do actually, yeah, because I resemble a jack-o'-lantern.
I've always said that. But with your heritage, you'd be a jack-o'-lantern.
See, my kids want things more intricate than faces. Like they always want like cartoon characters. Like I've done Pikachu, I've done like Angry Birds before.
Cool.
Last year they wanted, or I guess it was 2 years ago, they wanted animals. So they, of course, they're boys, so they each pick a deadly animal. So there was like a cobra, there was an octopus, and a shark. So
awesome.
I carved all those, but
yeah, I'd love to see those. That'd be really great.
Yeah, I'll have to try and find them. But
anyway,
speaking of Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. What do you got?
What about you guys? Do you guys have any Halloween traditions or stories, either that you do with your kids or from when you were a kid?
I don't really have anything from when I was a kid, but in my ex-wife's honor, since I'm here at her place and she just fed me, I would like to say that bitch, I don't know what the hell is going on, but she likes going to haunted houses, but she gets hurt every time she goes there. She gets hurt.
Jason.
She's running away, so scared, but still chooses to do this every year.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She's insane.
There's not a lot of them in North Carolina, are there?
Oh, I have no idea. But if there's one nearby, you bet she's going to go get hurt.
Because I heard that's kind of like a Utah thing.
That's what I was going to say. It's kind of a Utah thing.
Like, they have them in some other places, but like how big they are here is not the way it is everywhere. Like, we have a bunch of them here, but they're pretty rare other places.
It's in the same popularity zone as like green jello and shit like that.
Very much a local.
It's what happens when you take a population and you remove alcohol,
Right? It's so true. But there are some quirks about Utah that make it lovely like that. Like, you guys like iceberg a lot. Mormons really like ice cream.
Again, see my equation. Well, it's funny because we have the word of wisdom where we're supposed to stay healthy, and we kind of some people look down on people who smoke and drink. I don't, but some people are like judgy like that. But then they're like 300 pounds because they eat like a pig.
Well, you have to find loopholes around it.
Right, exactly. So it's like, oh, look at you. You're smoking, you're drinking, and then they take a bite of their triple decker.
But yeah, I guess the haunted house thing has always been such a big part of growing up here. It's just you just kind of expect it. And so now that you said that, I'll check it out and see if North Carolina has any of that. Because I know that we had the nation's biggest and scariest in different years of haunted houses.
Yeah.
Well, I remember being a kid, like it was just a part of life. Like when the spotlights went up.
When you were a teenager.
Just even when I was like 7, I'd see the spotlights and they became like mysterious and scary. It's like, ooh, spotlights.
Yep.
Yeah, I always loved the haunted house tradition though. Like, I was going like at least once a year, every year from when I was like 13 all the way until, like 2 years ago.
When I broke my arm.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But my kids still love it. This is haunted house season. Like, they're too young to go inside, but they like to drive by them. They like to get out and see them up close because they have like the animatronics and they think it's the coolest thing just to see them. They can't wait till they're old enough to go.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't wait to take them because I went when I was, I went for 20-something years until a couple years ago when I kind of finally hit you that, we're twice as old as everyone here.
Yeah.
But, once my kids are old enough to go, again, I look forward to doing it with them. But I used to go with Jason and his ex-wife. We double date quite a bit until there was a incident some years back, and Jason ended up being carted off with a broken shoulder, and they had to shut down the haunted house for a while. And
what is it with you and walking? Like, you just can't do it, can you?
Well, I ended up the emergency. That's my Halloween story, actually, because we talking about Halloween stories. Mine was when I broke my shoulder, and I basically there was a room that we went into, and this was in 2015,
something like that. Sounds about right.
Anyway, so there's a room that you go into, and they've got the mirror set up so it looks like there's no floor, but you're walking on a ledge, like if you were on the top of a building. And so you look down, and it looks like it's 100-foot drop.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, oh, that's scary. So we're like walking on this little lip, they built on the side of the room. And all of a sudden, someone behind pushes the wall out to make you fall off the lip. Well, my stubborn reflexes decided that was a real drop. And so I refused to step off the lip, and I, at like a 90-degree angle, kind of tipped towards the opposite wall, and I threw out my right arm to stop myself, and I heard a crunch.
Oh.
And then I fell off the lip anyway, and so I'm sitting there on the glass, looks like I'm floating in air, and my shoulder looked funny when I got up. And so they had to escort me out of the haunted house.
Yeah, they shut it down for a while, and you couldn't like move your arm like at all. And...
No, and it was funny. It was like lower than my other arm, like the shoulder. And so I texted Holly, and because she's a nurse, and I said, "Hey, I think I dislocated my shoulder. Should I just put it back in?" Because I've seen Lethal Weapon. I saw what Mel Gibson did. Yep. I almost said Mel Brooks.
That would be fantastic.
That would have been fantastic. But it turns out when you dislocate your shoulder, you're supposed to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital, and it actually gets worse the longer you wait to put it back in, because the muscles contract. Wow. Muscles contract trying to put it back in, but if it can't go back in, it just hurts really bad. And so after a while, I got some drugs, and then they put it back in, and I've never been to a haunted house since. The funny thing is they got really scared of me, and they're like, they kept messaging me, and basically they were really afraid I was going to sue them, and that's not how I roll, right?
No, they saw how you roll. You get hit by a wall.
Didn't they?
They gave me free tickets for a couple years afterwards, and yeah.
They're like, yeah, I want to go back to your death trap haunted house again. Break my other shoulder.
I gave them away every year, but it was kind of funny because I felt like I was extorting them, But I'm like, hey, you remember me? Can I have some free tickets this year? I think I actually sent a text one time.
That's awesome.
Or else.
Oh, my shoulder's really been sore lately.
But yeah, after several weeks in physical therapy, my shoulder healed, but it actually never has been the same since. But yeah, so that was my Halloween story when I broke my shoulder in a haunted house.
What I remember, Jason, is that was the same year that you fell down a manhole. The world was just kicking your ass that year.
I know. I fell down the manhole, and then there was one other thing that happened. Oh, I slipped off one of those chairs, those like bar seat chairs, and landed on my tailbone and bruised it. So for like a while, for like 6 weeks, I was sitting on a donut. So
awesome.
You got to tell the manhole story, because that's some serious Bugs Bunny shit right there.
So this is
I'm really interested based on the name.
It's not that kind of manhole.
But isn't that something that would happen to like Wile E. Coyote or something? Yeah. It doesn't happen to real people.
Well, this was just weeks after I broke my shoulder, so I was in a sling, and I decided to walk home from work for some reason. I don't know why. But it was like a month later, actually, after I broke my shoulder. So I'm walking, and they had just redone the street on this road, and I go to step on this manhole, and next thing you know, I'm like, it just tips in. My feet go into it. The lid didn't come completely off. The lid kind of tipped like a trap door, like you see. And so I didn't go all the way in, but my legs went in, and I landed on the cement around it. And I pulled my legs out, and my shoes were gone. And then I looked at my phone, and it was totally shattered. My brand new iPhone.
Oh no!
And So I called the police to let them know, because if a kid had walked on it, they would have gone right down,
Right.
And so I'm just sitting there on the ground with a shattered iPhone and no shoes in November.
Like, what the hell?
And I'm just like, what just happened? And then
You just became homeless.
my ex-wife's best friend pulled up out of the blue. Hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, can I get a ride home?
Got a spare pair of shoes, size 12.
So I called the city, and I got reimbursement for my phone and my shoes. That was a weird conversation. They're like, okay, so how much was your iPhone? And I told them, and I said, oh yeah, and then I had some $30 shoes that I lost. And so they tacked it onto the reimbursement check.
Wow. Awesome.
But that was a month after I broke my shoulder on the haunted house. So the universe was against me that year.
Well, thanks a lot for making our taxes higher that year,
I know,
jerk.
that was my fault. And then I still had my donut from earlier in the year when I bruised my coccyx. So, but yeah, it was rough.
Nice.
So anyway, that got way off track. John, what's your Halloween story?
I don't have like a really funny story like that. The only thing I remember. Okay, you remember like Smashing Pumpkins, not the band, but the act of actually smashing pumpkins?
Mm-hmm.
I remember
I did other things to pumpkins.
you defiled them. Well, their mouth's already open in that O shape. It's already they're already halfway there.
I'm a gordophile.
You.
Pumpkin
I just
squash.
remember my brother and my sister and I running around the neighborhood like the day after Halloween, just picking up all the pumpkins and smashing them, and it's kind of a jerk thing to do. But my grandma, when we were kids, actually had the solution to kids like that who do that, because she had told us that she was so sick of all the neighborhood kids just running up and kicking the pumpkins off her porch. She took a big rock. It was like perfectly round. It looked like a pumpkin. She spray painted it orange and set it on her porch. And in the dark, you couldn't tell that wasn't a pumpkin.
Oh no.
I guess one of the local teenagers in her neighborhood like broke his toe running up and kicking that rock, thinking it was a pumpkin.
Sounds deserved.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
Anyway, that's the best Halloween story I can remember from when I was a kid is my grandma's neighbor breaking his toe, kicking her pumpkin, or a rock painted like a pumpkin.
That's pretty funny. Do you have any Halloween stories from you or your kids, or?
No, like I said, she used to get hurt at the haunted houses. I really just don't have. Yeah, Charlie, he's 5 now, and I just got him the coolest Spider-Man outfit for Halloween, and he was really excited for us to go out and do Halloween together. But he's going to be here now, so I brought it with me for him. So I hope he has fun. But I was really looking forward because Halloween's my favorite holiday. I actually don't really like any holiday. I just like Halloween, and that's it. And so I was really looking forward to that. But do
you have any like little people friends that you could dress up and go door to door?
Just call him Charlie. Have some weird.
He's like, she gives him a candy. He's like, thanks, lady.
Yeah, perform like, Stockholm syndrome on the
smoking.
That's one of the best things about having kids, though. Is, I mean, everyone knows the parents eat half the candy, anyways, right?
Right.
Like my kids like candy, but they don't love it. Like they're totally fine with my wife and I eating half their candy.
Sure.
And they get this like mountain of candy between them all. So that's like our lunch for the next month. Like when I was a kid, my candy was mine, man. I was possessive with that. I would have stabbed my parents' hand with a fork if they had tried to take any of my candy. But my kids are more generous than I was, and they don't care at all that my wife and I pound it down,
Yeah.
So that's
I do the other thing. Because I haven't had that experience yet, I buy big bags of candy ostensibly to give out.
And no one comes to your door, so you end up eating it all yourself.
Yeah.
Well, they come to the door, but then they see the sign. It's like, sorry, no candy. and I'm just in there munching it down, watching TV.
You're just like
It's all
looking
like
out the window.
Got like a Tootsie Roll
Like
headache and a
chocolate in your
stomach ache.
mustache. There's wrappers
Yeah.
all over the floor. Sorry, no
I'm
more
just, like,
candy.
rubbing them all over my nipples. Wait, what?
Do you remember when we were kids, though? Did your parents check the candy to make sure it was safe?
Yeah.
Isn't that like an urban legend? I remember my parents checking them for razor blades or throwing away everything that looked slightly funny or like.
Do I need to remind you guys that is what the media does on purpose?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, I'm half
More,
they do that.
I don't think anyone does that anymore, though. Do they? Do they still
hospitals
check candy?
offer to X-ray candy on Halloween for you?
I remember, like back in the '80s when I was a kid, that was a big thing. My parents had to inspect that closely, and
I feel like if anything,
one incident once ever of someone sticking a razor blade in candy, and so for decades after that, parents had to check it.
I think it turned out to be a hoax, actually, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
I don't know if that ever even really happened, but it was considered such absolute truth back in the '80s that everyone did that thoroughly, and now no one even pays attention to that.
I've tried to put razor blades in the trick-or-treat candy. It's hard.
So much harder than it looks, isn't it?
I just feel like them telling people to, the regurgitating of that lie, of that hoax. I mean, I know some real shithead teenagers, like they're going to take that idea and run.
Right, copycats.
Yeah.
Jerks.
I just actually remembered a Halloween story I want to share.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I mean, I'm tired of you talking, but if you want to go.
Oh, ouch. Okay, thanks, Mom.
Love you.
So a couple years ago, actually, I think my daughter's 15 now. Both my daughters are 15, but Becca was probably about 10, I think. And I took her to Zurcher's to get her a costume. And I was letting her pick out a costume, right? And she comes to me with the sexy maid costume. and I'm like, do you realize you just destroyed for me one of like the sexy things in life? I can no longer appreciate the sexy maid trope because of what you've done, daughter. So anyway, short story, but
that makes a lot of sense though. It sucks that having kids ruins your innocence, doesn't it?
Having kids ruins sex a lot.
Yeah. And to think they were born of it. Weird.
I know, right? It's kind of a nature's birth control,
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely a type of STD that lasts a long time.
No, I love my kids. I'm grateful for them, but it was just a funny moment, So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's my other unfortunate Halloween experience. So, should we move on to show and tell?
Yeah.
Okay, Zach, you show.
Show
and
and
tell.
All right, here goes.
All right, who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay, you go first.
All right. As always, I am ripping this from the pages of Cracked. We have 16 hilarious true stories left out of history. November 5th, 2020, Ryan Menezes. Damn it, I'll never get his name right. All right. He writes all of their stuff, apparently. All right. Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. Mexico's 8th president needed his leg amputated when the French shot a cannon at him. He gave the leg a full state funeral, then protesters dug it up again.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if these are the Swedish Vikings or the Norwegian Vikings, so I don't know if I should be proud or not. The Viking Hastein, I don't know if I'm saying that right either. Hastein entered a Roman city by arriving on a stretcher with his men asking for aid. The Romans let them through the gates. Then the Vikings sacked the city. Jerks. All right.
You look like a Viking right now, just so you know.
I know. I should just move to Norway, honestly, and live in the woods. On the fjords. Washington crossing the Delaware. Inspirational words. Okay, you heard it happened, but rarely are his words to Colonel Henry Knox quoted. Shift that fat ass, Harry, but slowly or you'll swamp the damned boat.
Nice.
That's fantastic. We forget that back then people talked just like us.
People were people.
People were people. Battle of Chosin Reservoir. U.S. Marines faced thousands of Chinese in North Korea and radioed for mortar shells using the code word Tootsie Rolls. HQ misunderstood and dropped actual Tootsie Rolls.
Nice.
How many of them died after that?
Right.
Which they probably took from their kids' Halloween candy.
They're like, there's a razor blade in this one.
And thus begun the hoax.
Yeah.
Or not hoax, the legend. All right, the Lonely Tree. The tree of Teneri in Niger stood totally isolated in the desert, the only landmark in 250 miles for 300 years, until 1973 when a truck managed to crash into it. 250 miles from anywhere. For 300 years, this tree's there, and some dude managed to hit it. That's
Crashed
awesome.
into it.
All right. The Swiss keep accidentally invading Liechtenstein. Okay, invading might be a strong word, but their army has illegally crossed the border in 1985, 1992, and 2007.
You should put up a
The
sign or
Swiss,
something.
huh? I know.
No invading permitted.
Corporal Jackie. During World War I, a baboon named Jackie was enlisted in the South African Infantry Brigade. Among other things, he would stand at attention and salute superior officers. I think they should just get an army of
Baboons.
baboons. I mean, they're mean creatures.
They're
They, like,
strong
eat
too.
people's faces and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I think
in
we should
19
get orangutans.
Oh, absolutely. My brethren, my brothers. In 1970, pilot Gary Faust ejected after his jet entered a flat spin at 15,000 feet. The jet, on its own, recovered, landed smoothly in a field, then returned to service. The
What?
Kettle
Like,
War.
really?
How?
I have no idea. That's all it says. Some of these are boring. Let's see. In 1784, Austria attacked the Dutch by sea. A small Dutch ship fired a single shot, which toppled a kettle of soup, soaking the Austrians and making them surrender.
It doesn't say that kettle of soup is probably their president or something.
Oh, my soup!
That was like a direct act of war.
For real.
Declaration of war.
The war of soup.
Poor Austrians. They didn't deserve that. In 1896, a British warship fired on Sultan Khalid's palace in Zanzibar. By 9:40 a.m., he lowered his flag, and so ended the Anglo-Zanzibar War, which lasted 38 minutes.
I read about that one.
I love that that's a war. That's great. The FIFA president received an award
by the way,
in his...
That's
What's
me
that?
in any argument with Megan. I just,
Raise the white flag.
I raise the white flag.
Surrender.
Like,
It's a war, but it doesn't last long.
no, it doesn't. Sorry.
No,
You
you're
may
fine.
proceed.
Joseph Sepp Belland Blatter. The FIFA president received an award in this name, but Belland wasn't really his name. Someone had just edited his Wikipedia article. Belland is slang for penis. That's
One of you was
fantastic.
that.
That's one reason I love Wikipedia, is all the things that happen. When a pope returned to the papacy, is that how you
That's
say
how
that?
you say it, yeah.
When a pope returned the papacy to Rome from France, the French elected a pope of their own. Then the cardinals elected a third, but the other two refused to step down. I want to see that battle to the death.
In a cage.
Yes.
3
The
popes.
3 popes. Yep.
One pope leaves.
I mean, I think we should just bring this back. All right. The foot powder mayor. In 1967, an Ecuadorian foot powder company advertised, "If you want well-being and hygiene, vote for Polvappies." They got enough write-in votes to win the election. So a foot powder is a mayor. That's cute. That's like that Bodie McBoat face. You leave it to people to vote for goofy things, and they will do it.
My favorite is that brothel owner who won after being dead. I
I don't know.
remember. There's an article I saw. It was a couple years ago. He was on the ballot in Nevada for something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he died, but he still won.
That's awesome.
I think his brothel was on an HBO show. Cat House. So,
Oh, okay.
anyway, it was kind of funny.
Let's see. Storming the resort. Instead of the Rock of Gibraltar, Royal Marines in a 2002 exercise stormed a Spanish beach resort. How they mistook it for the nearby 1,000-foot hill is a mystery. Okay, last two. Abandoned rear. In World War I, French villagers mistook a latrine pit labeled abandoned rear for an American grave. Decades later, they still maintained and honored the grave. Gross. That's a latrine pit. That's fantastic.
That's
All
what
right,
I think
last
of
one.
America.
Astronauts reported Santa. In December 1965, astronauts aboard Gemini 6A reported a UFO with its pilot wearing a red suit. Then they rang bells and played jingle bells on the harmonica. Those were all kind of boring. Anyway, all right, I'm done.
The sad thing is that was actually a real encounter. It wasn't made up for the kids.
Right, and those guys are like in insane asylums now.
Yeah, they're like,
It was
no,
real.
they're just rocking back and forth. Ho, ho, ho,
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
I saw it, man.
He was so jolly.
He was jolly. All right, I got one, and I'm going to go before John because John probably will have a longer article that will be funnier. But mine comes from
Plus, he knows how to read.
the Huffington Post. It's from October 14th, 2021 by Elise Wanshell. New Zealand City's official wizard has been taken off its payroll.
They have an official city wizard?
Yep. A New Zealand city seems to have left itself vulnerable to a revenge hex. The City Council of Christchurch announced that it will stop paying its official wizard $16,000 or $10,400 US a year in December. New Zealand news sites stuff reported. Ian Brackenbury Channel, aka the Wizard, has been serving as the city's appointed necromancer since the olden days of 1998. Over the past few decades, he has made a total of $368,000. That's $258,825 US dollars.
Doing what?
To provide acts of wizardry and other wizard-like services as part of a promotional work for the city of Christchurch.
What are wizarding services?
Council Assistant Chief Executive Lynn McClellan told Stuff, that's, I guess, the magazine originally, that the council made the difficult decision to fire their local mage because the promotional landscape of the city is changing, and it would like to fund offerings that will increasingly reflect our diverse communities. The wizard, who frankly should have used his powers to see this coming, said the city council has no imagination and projects an image of bureaucrats drinking lattes on the boulevard. The wizard, who holds a New Zealand driver's license bearing the name The Wizard, moved to the country.
That's fantastic.
Moved to the country in the 1970s, has been a fixture in Christchurch ever since. CNN reported he's earned himself a TripAdvisor rating, 4 out of 5 stars. He told CNN that he views himself less as Gandalf and more as a goofball or showman who brings joy to the city. Every day the world gets more serious, so fun is the most powerful thing in the world right now, he said. The wizard also emphasized that to Stuff that the pink slip from the city won't stop him from being himself across Christchurch. It makes no difference, he said. I will still keep going. They will have to kill me to stop me.
Oh my gosh. He's
Speaking of wizards, the audience can't see it, but Zach is fluffing his hair and his beard while we do this. And he is looking quite wizardy himself.
He does. You look like a wizard.
Inspiring me. I'm like, I'm going to get a new job, and I know exactly what it is, and I'm going to get it here in North Carolina. I'm going to be their local
Wizard
mage.
Of Raleigh or...
Yep. Clayton.
I can understand like why a city would want to hang on to like an eccentric, fun character that's like a tourist attraction, like this. Like he could be like, the naked cowboy in New York or something like that, but I don't think the city actually pays that guy to actually pay someone for 20-something years to do this.
Right.
I assume, government funds or something, tax money.
Taxpayer money.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
I'm imagining he had dirt on somebody or something. Come on.
It's political.
Yeah.
I think
and he made a weird demand and they actually followed through with it. Okay, you're our mage now.
I think they should have solved it with a wizard's duel. Like they should have got like somebody on the
them
city
against
council.
The popes.
The three popes.
The three popes, the mage,
The tri-popes, we'll call them.
tri-popes.
Anyway, I just thought it was an awesome story.
Tri-pope for it. Oh, sorry.
They fired their official wizard. So, anyway.
Nice.
All right, John.
Fantastic.
Anyway, seeing as it's Halloween, let's talk about some bizarre deaths.
Ooh, that's morbid.
It's morbid, but vaguely, kind of tangentially, however you say that, related to Halloween.
Tangentially.
In 1989, Michael Godwin, a criminal convicted of murder, was initially given a death sentence by electrocution before his sentence was eventually stayed and it was reduced to life imprisonment. However, Godwin eventually died from electrocution anyway when he bit into wires while attempting to fix a broken television set. At the same time, he was sitting on a metal toilet in his prison cell.
Kind of feel like he deserved that.
He was just meant to be electrocuted.
What was his crime?
It says he was convicted of murder.
Okay, well, there you go.
He deserved it. In 1982, David Grundman was crushed and impaled by the 4-foot limb of a giant saguaro cactus that he was standing underneath while shooting it with his shotgun near Lake Pleasant Regional Park in Arizona.
I just feel like that if Jason ever went crazy, that's the kind of shit he would pull. Like he'd have a shotgun shooting at a
spot on
cactus.
Those 30-foot saguaro cactuses.
Yelling at it.
I don't get the standing underneath it while you're shooting at it thing.
I would totally be wearing a wizard's hat though. So
absolutely.
Okay, this one, I do not condone suicide of any kind, but if you're going to go, this guy went out on his own terms. In 1990, Daniel John O'Brien, an American tourist in Trinidad, 31, committed suicide by jumping into one of the engines of a British Airways Boeing 747 jet at the airport.
Whoa.
He was naked, scaled 2 fences with barbed wire on top, fought off 4 security guards, and commandeered their 4-wheel drive truck, which he drove into the jet sitting on the runway with his engines running. Then he climbed out of the car and jumped into the jet's engine.
Wow.
That guy went out on his own terms.
I'm sad that he died, but damn.
There was no stopping that dude.
No, it said he was a Marine, so he was able to fight off all the security guards.
That's sad. I'm
feel
sorry
for him.
Anyway.
But what a glorious death.
Yes.
I mean, I'd rather fight a Klingon, but okay, you know.
I want to die naked.
Yeah, definitely.
I can make that happen.
At least bury me naked.
Yeah.
And then I want the embalming guy to do some trickery during the funeral so it makes everybody uncomfortable.
Like puppetry with your penis?
No, just pump blood into a certain part of me so that, you know, I'm standing at attention.
So.
Oh, no.
And everybody's just kind of like shielding their eyes as they pay tribute to me.
They'd just be pretending they didn't know this. Kind of looking at each other with these uncomfortable looks.
I want like the top closed, but the bottom half open of the coffin. So that
nice.
They have to.
I hope I die before you so that I can enjoy that with you. We can watch it from our ghostly whatever. Watch your funeral. I want to see that.
Then we'll get robbed because we're watching from Ogden.
Yeah.
Nice. In 1993, 38-year-old Gary Hoy, a lawyer in Toronto, was trying to demonstrate to a group of his colleagues that the windows on his high-rise office in the Toronto Dominion Center were unbreakable. To demonstrate this, he ran and threw himself against one of the windows as hard as he could. True to his assertion, the window did not break, but it did pop out of its frame, and Hoy fell 24 floors to his death.
Oh, my hell.
A lot of these are pretty much Darwin Awards.
Sounds like it. Wow.
I just picture the glass. The glass also fell 24 floors and did not
Still
break.
did not break. See? Didn't break.
Oh, I'm so sad.
In 1999, 64-year-old John Lewis, a businessman from Minsterworth, England, attempted to light a bonfire with gasoline. As you may expect, he accidentally set himself on fire by doing
Yes, he
that. Luckily, he had the presence of mind to run and jump into a river to put the fire out. The fire did go out, but he drowned. That guy
Aw.
I think these
didn't
are
think
just
things through.
these are like some of these stories are just like when it's your time, you cannot fight it. It's time
No,
to go. You know?
Yeah.
In 2008, David File, 50, was the last resident in a block of flats due to be demolished in Bishopstoke near Southampton, England. He protested their decision to kick all the residents out by decapitating himself with a chainsaw.
What?
Oh my.
That's one way to protest.
Wow. Yikes.
You guys got some determination.
But like, at what point? What was he thinking that they were going to see that he does that, and they're like, "Okay, come on, guys, you can live there now."
Oh yeah, take this.
I'm just impressed he was able to. Wow.
You gotta do it fast, I guess.
Yes. Like I'd be sitting there, I would just be like clenching my eyes. I'm like, I can't do it. Maybe I'd like nick myself and then just drop the chainsaw and cry like,
Yeah. Stephen Winfrey, 50, was rabbit hunting near Doncaster, England, and after not having much success, he stuck his head down the rabbit hole to see if there were rabbits in there.
Oh no.
He became trapped and suffocated after not being able to get his hole out.
The rabbits
His
ate
head
him.
out of the hole, I mean. People.
Let me guess. 45-year-old Minnesota man with large beard gets stuck in underground cave that he made out of snow.
Shout out to you, Luke.
Luke.
In 2015, a 22-year-old Florida man,
Yay.
Matthew Riggins, was on the run after committing a string of burglaries in the Barefoot Bay neighborhood of Melbourne, Florida. He was being
headed to
pursued.
Ogden.
He was being pursued by police and police dogs, and he decided to throw the dogs off the scent by wading into a nearby lake. That's when he was grabbed, drowned, and eaten by the 11-foot alligator that lived in the lake. Police found his remains in the lake and inside the alligator 10 days later.
Nice. Welcome to Florida, bitch.
In 2010, a crocodile caused a plane crash over the Congo that killed 20 people.
Okay.
The crocodile was being illegally smuggled inside someone's carry-on bag. When it escaped during the flight, causing a panic where all the passengers ran to one side of the small plane to escape from it. That caused the plane to unbalance, and which the pilot could not regain control, and the plane crashed.
Oh my gosh.
There was only one person, and the crocodile survived.
And now they're best friends.
Can you imagine the crocodile like walking away slowly from this flaming wreckage in the background? It's like a Michael Bay movie. Let's see where we at. In 2007, the deputy mayor of New Delhi, India, S.S. Bajwa, died from severe brain injuries after falling off his balcony fighting off monkeys. I guess India has it says over 30,000 macaques monkeys live in New Delhi, India, routinely stealing stuff, terrorizing people, and sometimes even killing people.
Oh, wow.
Monkeys are awesome.
So they hang around parks, rob office buildings, stealing food, alcohol, glasses, medical equipment, and clothes. They even break into cars. The government originally had this brilliant plan to get rid of the macaque monkeys by releasing larger, more aggressive langur monkeys to take out the macaque monkeys.
Wait, that sounds like a Simpsons
It
episode.
does, doesn't it?
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that plan did not work. This is ironically, Bajwa was elected as a member of the India's main opposition party, who was harshly criticized for not doing enough to rid the city of the aggressive primates. Karma.
But I released a whole bunch of shit monkeys.
And then gorillas to take them out.
You mean releasing larger, more aggressive monkeys to take out the little annoying monkeys wasn't a good idea? Who could have seen that coming? Okay, this one has nothing to do with death. It's Halloween related, and costume parties have the best headlines. That's all I can say. Headline says, woman in sumo wrestler suit assaulted her ex-girlfriend in gay pub after she waved at man dressed as a Snickers bar. I don't even know if I need to read the article after that, but I'll give the gist of it anyway.
That's great.
Sandra Talbot, 32, assaulted her ex-partner with a bottle of Smirnoff Ice that she had hidden in the fat folds of her sumo suit.
Oh.
She had noticed her ex-girlfriend, Adrienne Martin, waving to a guy dressed as a Snickers bar, and then flew into a fit of rage and hit her girlfriend over the head with the bottle of Smirnoff Ice. Talbot was then escorted out of the pub by security, who had to deflate her sumo suit to fit her through the doorway. That was in 2010 in Ireland.
That's awesome.
So anyway, the headline pretty much just said everything you need to know about that story. So anyway, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, that was beautiful.
All right. Well, gents, it's been lovely, Zach.
It's bedtime.
I could tell you're tired.
Yeah.
You're probably a little jet lagged. So,
Do you get jet lag just flying 4 hours?
well, it's actually almost 10 o'clock where you're at. So
Yeah. True.
But I know that's probably your bedtime. But as we do, dysfunctional adults go to bed early. Gone are the days of staying up to all hours. But,
Absolutely. Hey, I know I'm not there to make sure that you're careful when you walk, but just be careful when you walk, okay? I've heard too many horror stories about you walking tonight.
Breaking shoulders and falling in manholes.
Falling in manholes and stuff. Just be careful.
Don't you let your ex go to any haunted houses. They might pin it on you if she dies.
That was my next option.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and happy Halloween, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
All right.